How's everybody doing?
I could be doing better, but I know what's coming up next, so my stomach is a little rumbly.
Yeah, you can always tell when Tommy walks in here and he's in a good mood. He's about to inflict some pain on somebody. So you want to make it official? Just get it over with here?
Just feel like I want to rip the Band-Aid off, unless you want to make some more small talk that everybody else wants. If there's things going on in your life you want to talk about, feel free to delay the pain even longer.
I think I'm all good.
I think I'm all good too.
Yeah, I got nothing to talk about.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Dear God. Okay.
Plead the fifth.
Rip away.
All right, if you're new around here, Plead the Fifth are 5 uncomfortable questions that we have submitted anonymously, specifically to make this person kind of, squirm a little bit, make them uncomfortable. There are 5 questions. You can plead the fifth to one, like if it's too uncomfortable, if you think it's going to hurt somebody's feelings and do lasting damage, then you can go, I'll plead the fifth on that one, but you can only do it once.
Abby, you have told us that you're on your way to being an old maid with your cats and being single. What are your cats' names? The original, the OG cat.
The OG cat, Della, and my new one is Betty.
All right, Della and Betty.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Don't go after the cats, man.
Della
You're going after the cats
and
already.
Betty
Not my babies.
are in danger.
Oh, no, God.
If you had to save Della or Betty, which cat would it be?
Thank God my cats don't speak English. They also don't have access to the radio. So no matter what I say is not going to affect how they feel about me.
But you'll know this in your soul. This one's for the soul.
I think, and I always resented being the younger child because you can always just tell that the older child gets a little bit more favoritism. But me and my girl Della have been buds for nearly 6 years. And I know that Della is a lot more sentient than Betty. Betty's still kind of stupid. Like, she kind of like throws herself at Della knowing she's gonna die. So my hope, knowing that Betty has more free-flowing serotonin and what's the right word? She's just ditzier than Della. I'm hoping that it wouldn't, for lack of a better word, hit her as hard. So I'm probably saving Della. That makes me
Della.
Yeah.
Okay.
Last one in, first one out.
I don't know how I got into this cat algorithm because I'm not a huge cat fan, but cats slapping each other around is funny.
So watching, I'm trying to get it on video because it is hysterical. Betty trying to pick a fight with Della. Betty's my small fluff ball cat. She will like get on her hind legs, put her 2 front paws up like a lion, and then kind of lean back and then lurch forward and tackle Della. Della gets so peeved every single time. It is so funny. I'm trying to get it on camera.
I'm not talking about them like beating the crap out of each other. I'm just talking about those. Or if a dog just walks by, the cat comes out of nowhere and gives him a
Little pulse
slap.
Yes.
Just for good measure.
They do it to a baby too, like on the head, and it's just like, and the baby didn't even do anything.
Yeah, it's
like,
got to be multiple.
yeah, like you annoy me.
All right, Abby, question number 2. Well, first of all, the chemistry of the Bert Show youth group, the younger members of the Bert Show, seems to be outstanding. You guys all seem to be very chummy. So let's go ahead and mess that up. Go ahead and name off the people in the
We have
youth group for me.
Messy Mikey, a former intern who does something for the show now. We have Jackson, who edits videos and also works for Pioneer. We have Katie, who runs the board. We have Rebecca, who is our social media queen. And we have Amber, who is our phone screener.
Of all those members of the youth group,
Who do you like the least?
nope. Whose life would you least want to trade with?
Oh,
That's good.
Damn.
Oh, that's really tough. Whose life would I least want to trade with?
When can we develop some AI that can hear somebody's inner thoughts? Because I want to hear the decision-making process right now.
I'm going to go with... It's one thing to be rejected by one sex. It might be another to be rejected by both. So I don't know if I could handle Rebecca and walk into a bar and have all the options and not know if any of them want me. I think being bisexual would be really difficult.
It's a lot more pressure. You got to walk out of that bar with somebody.
And you got to be cool. I feel like every bisexual I know is just really cool. That's a lot of, I would embarrass the LGBTQ plus community somehow.
Yeah, the odds are in your favor if you're bi.
For sure.
If you strike out on that night, you're like, the world, nobody in the world likes me. Literally nobody in the world.
Rebecca's hot. Everyone should love her, but I know that I would do something to embarrass myself. So I couldn't handle it.
That's a good way out of it.
We're at the halfway point. Question number 3. Now, we all know you got a nose job. Well, some of us couldn't even tell at first. Like half the room couldn't tell.
I am really curious how long it would have taken for Mo and I to have like a side conversation out in the hall and go, does Abby
Dude,
look different?
You
Mo-
never
I
would
would
have.
have never noticed.
Me neither.
Mo would have noticed before you, Bert. We wore the same clothes for a week and you didn't notice.
As a bit.
That was the bit I was going to do. Like, I wasn't going to say anything. I was just going to, like, one day see if it was going to take a week, 2 weeks, and then reveal it.
All right, keeping in mind that nobody really noticed anyway, if you had to surgically change one more physical feature, what would it be?
Oh, this is an easy question. I'm an insecure woman in my 20s. I think about this daily. I look in the mirror and I'm like, you know what? There is one procedure I've thought about getting, and
Can we guess? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
just financially, it's just not like the nose thing. I was like, yeah, this thing needs to go. This is more of a petty thing.
Is it your chin?
He's being.
Oh, that was
joking.
so mean. How did you know? No, I was
Damn,
kidding.
Tommy.
Would I get a chin plant? Chin plant, absolutely.
Chin plant.
I love makeup, and I have the type of the guys are gonna have no idea what this is. When you put on eyeshadow, you need like a good smooth surface area for it to look good and for the makeup to sit right. And I have the type of eyelids that don't complement makeup very well. So I've always the next one I would get is probably like a blepharoplasty. So like my makeup looks better.
So they can flatten your eyeball or something?
They remove your eyelids.
What's it called?
Well, they take a chunk out so they're not as droopy.
Yeah. And it's not that like I think I have droopy eyelids, but I have hooded eyelids.
There you go.
And so you have less surface area for makeup, and it's it's not as extreme as a nose job, but yeah.
Speaking of hoods, what race of man would you absolutely not date?
What?
What race of man would you absolutely not date?
Speaking of hoods,
What kind of transition was that?
Tommy. I, based off of my dating experience, I would like to remove white men from from the roster. So let's go with that.
Good answer.
That was the only answer.
No. Okay.
All right, this one isn't necessarily hard. This is the last question. I don't think you'll plead the fifth of this.
This is way easier.
But this is an interesting question. Kudos to who came up with this. Of all the heat you've taken so far, when did you feel inside that you were not wrong?
Oh, that is a good question. I genuinely wish I had more time to think about this, because I feel like there have been moments where I feel like I get a lot of people in my DMs who, if I've emailed you back, it is because I know I'm right. So there have been a couple of like people who've said I've gotten facts wrong for like eBuzz or whatever, and I have known that my facts were correct, and so I specifically emailed them back to tell them I was correct.
Okay.
Just because it's one thing if I like mess up somebody's name or if it's a small fact, but if it is something I have researched and I've known it is correct, I'm emailing you back to be like, leave me alone.
If you find out, if somebody emails you and you find out that you were indeed wrong, do you email them back?
Genuinely, I'll apologize. I'll be like, you know what, you're right. Thank you for bringing this to my attention.
Because I would never email them back.
Sometimes people just have opinions on you being wrong, and those just you just need to ignore.
well, you answered all 5.
You did. That was way
Congratulations.
easier.
Look at you. Look, you walk into their house, their customs, right? It's only respectful to pay attention to those, but in this case, maybe not.
So I have a friend who is South Asian, and he grew up in America, but his family grew up in India. And the other day they had a white American friend over, and part of the customs of a lot of South Asian and honestly Asian homes as well, and even here in the U.S., I do this in my home, but not for the same reasons, is you take off your shoes when you enter the house. You know, and for me, it's a germ thing, but in some countries, it shows the host a sign of respect that you're not going to drag dirt into their home, and even extend sometimes to their ancestors, showing their ancestors respect by not sullying the home with dirt, heavy metals, chemicals from your shoes.
Just quickly before you go on there, just here in our own country, do you expect people to take their shoes off when they enter your home?
For me, no, but I've just never really paid much attention to it, mainly because I don't really have many people that over. It's just me and my cats.
Yes, only because I have a light carpet.
Yeah?
No.
Me neither. Okay.
And it's interesting that you say cats, because this family does have a cat. And so the American friend, when they came over, was like, I don't want to take off my shoes. And my friend was like, okay, well, it's kind of our house rule. You know, you can't come. Nobody gets to wear their shoes in. Not grandma, if the president showed up, you take your shoes off in our house. And the white American's friend take was, one, I wasn't prepared to show my socks. That's weird. It feels very intimate. I have a hole in one. Like, it just feels weird to walk barefoot. It's a level of intimacy that I wasn't prepared for, which sounds weird, but if you think about going barefoot or like socks at someone's house, it does feel strange.
Half the time, I don't even have matching socks on. I mean, they're close, but one has a logo, the other one doesn't. They look the same, but they're not the same.
Mine look completely different half the time. Secondly, he said, you have a cat. I don't want cat hair on my socks that I'm then going to put into my shoes and then track into my home because I don't have any pets and my house is cat hair free. And so it was an interesting conversation because I'm like,
what?
I was with him until the cat hair thing.
Yeah, I was too. I mean, and as somebody who's like really, really allergic to cats, right? I like if you're that worried about it, take your socks off and then just put your feet in your shoes and go home and wash the socks. Like, there's links you can go that are really, really simple to prevent cat hair coming into your home.
Sure. So I agree with that.
Yeah.
And to be clear, I'm on the side of my friend's family who's like, take off your shoes because it's respectful. But in outlining all of this and the fact then you got to have bare feet, and that's a next level. Like, some people have gnarly feet and they don't want to show that to other people. And so it was interesting because basically the American guy was like, well, in my culture, we don't take off shoes to enter homes. That's just not a normal thing that we do. So in that situation, who was right and who was wrong?
Oh, this is going to be a wash, I think.
This is easy, man. I think if we've learned nothing the last 2 weeks, it's that Americans are always right and the priority. So the American is right. Okay.
All right.
I think that's the end of discussion.
Noted.
I think if you want to enter somebody's home, you got to follow their rules.
Yes.
Like, that's it. That's the bottom line. I did go through this once where one of my friends didn't want to take his shoes off. And when he finally did take his shoes off, his socks were dirtier than his shoes. And I got so confused that at that point, I was like, I need to buy shoe covers in case I go through this again so that they can put the cover on their sneakers. So maybe that's what the homeowner should do.
That's a really smart idea. Oh, would you guys do that? If you went to someone's house and they were like, I need you to either take off your shoes or put on shoe covers, which one would you choose and would you do it?
I have cute feet. I'm taking my shoes off.
I'm putting shoe covers on.
Yeah.
I would just take my shoes off. Yeah, it fixes a lot of these problems.
So I'm taking my shoes off.
Did he end up staying? Did he end up taking his shoes off? Like, what happened?
He left.
Did he?
He left
really?
because he did not want to take his shoes off. And my friend said, I understand your choice, but this is the rule of my house and this is what I'm standing by. It's respectful to me and my ancestors. So they're still friends.
I want to see the socks.
Such a big way, man. I think ideally, it's a great sign if you pick a partner that you guys challenge yourself in smaller ways in order to become better people. And I think that's what Kristen here and her husband Bart are trying to do in January.
And I hope this segment makes you feel really good about yourselves because we are failures. Absolute, utter failures. Anyway, so yes, my husband and I tasked each other with 3 small, biteable, digestible, doable tasks for January. These are like goals / to-do list, because even if it's like a to-do list item, it's weighing on you and your mental load, and you will feel better and lighter by getting stuff done because we've had a slew of things pile up that we want to accomplish that we haven't because life is lifing. And it's like, all right, well, let's do this, hold each other accountable, support each other, and 3 small yet attainable things we can do for the month of January.
Okay.
My husband gave me yoga, dry January, which was nice because I had already said I was going to do that, but he was like doubling down, like, I'm going to support you. I really want you to do this. And then get our passports renewed. Okay. Those are my 3 to do. Dry January. Ding! We have accomplished. I got 1 day left. I'm pretty sure I can get through the next couple hours and make it to midnight, and I will have dry January taken care of.
So midnight is the time.
No. I'm not going to drink anything tonight. I will have a beverage tomorrow night.
Okay, because we're all meeting for Bert's Big Adventure conference this weekend.
Yes.
And there'll be a couple of drinks around, but you're saying tonight off limits.
Tonight is off limits.
Okay.
I will not imbibe tonight. However, I will finally let red wine touch these lips tomorrow night. All right. That is done. Yoga was the other one. My goal was to do yoga 3 times a week, right? I end up averaging twice a week.
Okay.
But I did a couple of sessions at home with yoga with Adrian, but I did not hit what was my inner goal of 3 times a week. But I did average twice a week.
All right. Hey, Kristen, when you shoot for the moon and you miss, you're still amongst the stars.
Yeah, something like that. And then lastly, renew the passports.
You ain't going nowhere, huh?
No, we're not. Which is why for spring break, we're going to the Keys. So I'm going to, I guess, push that over to February.
Okay.
All right. So
Is that how it works? If you don't accomplish it in 1 month, you just push it over to the next, or do you add one to the other 3 that are supposed to be?
Well, so that's what I'm trying, because that's what I'm trying to suss out here, because this is our first year doing this, right? Before we just on New Year's Eve gave each other 3 goals, but they were big and they were sweeping, and we honestly never got anywhere close to accomplishing them. So this year I'm like, ooh, let's do 3 bite-sized ones each month, and then we'll just start knocking stuff out left and right. I was stupid.
Great on paper.
All right, so Bart's so I don't know how we're going to roll stuff over yet. So Bart's was throw away holy underwear and socks, because this man is wearing underwear that I'm seriously could be put into a museum because it's ancient. And his socks, it's not just a hole in the toe. He has socks where the entire heel is missing from the sock.
The dude grew up on a farm, man. This totally tracks. I'm assuming his parents were like, we don't get clothes until they are falling off of your body. And even then, we're not going to get new clothes.
Well, that, and there was 5 boys. So clothes got passed down. So like I remember Bart lamenting that his brother Mike walked weird. Like he walked on like the outer edges of his feet, and his shoes got passed down to him. And he was like, they like broke my arches because they were so jacked up.
Damn.
All right. So did he throw away his holy underwear and socks?
Okay.
Yes, he did.
He's feeling all sexy.
All right. Well, also Santa brought him socks. So nudge, nudge. His other item for January was to finish the garage door. The garage door got purchased. It has been, it's in, but it needs to be painted and the hardware needs to be put on it.
Okay, that wasn't the assignment, though.
Yeah, it was.
Wasn't the assignment just to have it in?
No.
Finish it.
It was already
finish the whole
It's
thing.
been in for months.
Okay.
It was finish the garage door, so paint it and get the hardware on it, and so it's done because now it's just a unfinished garage door.
Okay.
So y'all are doing the stuff. Y'all just not finishing it.
He's really good at that.
Not finishing?
Yes.
All right.
I love that for you. Garage door is still in the same state it's been. So that did not get done.
All right.
And then his third item was to clean off the table. And if that doesn't make any sense, in our primary bedroom, there is a folding card table that just has a stack of papers and boxes. And when I say stack, I'm talking of like it's 3 feet high on this table. And anytime the cleaners come over, and Bart always works with the cleaners, that table gets dragged into the closet so they can clean, and then gets dragged back out of the closet. So it's just an eyesore. And another one of his responsibilities was to clean that off and to get rid of that.
That seems simple.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no.
Nope.
Didn't happen.
Oh, well.
It's
February, here we come.
It's still there.
So maybe there has to be some kind of repercussion if you guys don't complete the 3 to motivate you.
I guess I thought this would be enough. Like I wrote them down. They're on the refrigerator and they are there every day for us to see. Yet we still didn't do them. I don't know what that says about us. I'm hoping this is somewhat relatable and we're not the only other lazy a-holes out there, but I'm just like, I don't know what we need to do in order to actually get stuff done.
No, I think everybody has stuff on their to-do list, and the things you really don't want to do, you just keep pushing off and pushing it off and pushing it off until you take a look at your to-do list and you're like, I'm never doing that. And you just eliminate it.
That happens all the time.
Yeah.
You just feel good about the ones you check off.
Yeah.
I think you got to make it a competition. So if you achieve something, so like you achieved 1 goal and Bart achieved how many? 0?
No, he threw away his holy underwear
Okay,
socks.
cool. So y'all are even. But next time, if you achieve 2 goals and he achieves only 1, then you get to buy something very expensive because he's a thrifty man, right?
Yes.
So his job is to cancel out your goals so you don't get to buy like a $300 dress or something like that. And then he picks something that he wants that you're like, hell no. And so you're trying to cancel each other out because you know if you win, you get something you want, but he doesn't want you to get it.
I love this.
Yeah, there's got to be some kind of dangling carrot there. Because clearly self-motivation is not what's working.
I really thought like we would want to better ourselves, but apparently we don't.
It feels better than stopping your significant other from getting something they really want.
I also think if y'all make it roll over to where you'll have more to do each month that you don't get your stuff done, that probably will motivate you to get it done too.
Agreed.
I thought so too, but then it's just the list is going to get so long, and then
December's gonna look crazy.
All right, so at least I liked the idea of it's snackable rather than look at this list that we have to get done, this long list for the whole year. This is something small right in front of you.
Were these not snackable enough?
It seemed pretty snackable to me.
It seemed pretty snackable.
All right,
Real snackable.
but I didn't drink. Yay!
Our intern Sadie's got some drama going on in her neighborhood, and it made me think of this. Look, I will give you guys $20 if you call now, 1-855-BERT Show, and tell us about the drama that's going on in your neighborhood right now. We don't need names. Maybe they don't even know you know about the drama going on in your neighborhood, but bring us into that neighborhood. 1-855-BERT Show. What do you got?
So if there's one thing I am, it's nosy. And I'm sitting at my desk in my apartment complex last weekend taking a quiz the day it's due, like the scholar I am. And it's a timed quiz. So I'm on limited time right now. And I hear some commotion outside my door. And you can hear everything in an apartment complex. You know, Abby.
Oh.
The walls are thin.
Do I?
Yeah. So I hear a little commotion outside my front door. I look at the clock on my quiz. I decide it's worth wasting a few minutes. It's worth the sacrifice. So I head to my front door. I look through my peephole. I see 2 Cobb County police officers.
No.
Luckily, they are not there for me. They are there for my neighbor
So this
across
is
the hall.
right across, because that's the only thing
Oh,
you
yeah.
could see out of a peephole,
Straight
right?
shot,
Yeah.
like straight to the drama. So I'm watching, I'm listening, I can hear every word. And, you know, they're just kind of chit-chatting back and forth with her. And all of a sudden, starts screaming. She starts swinging.
Start swinging at the cops.
Swinging at the cops.
that's
That
not a
never
good
ends
idea.
well.
Yeah.
No. You ever notice that doesn't end well
Yeah.
on YouTube videos?
Seems pretty consistent.
So she steps out of her front door, and I am scarred. I can't get this image out of my head. She is naked, head to toe.
Oh, my.
And I'm not talking undergarments. I'm talking everything is out.
I've
Butt
seen
naked
some.
swinging on the cops is a pretty bad day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when the woman is naked, too. I've seen videos like this online on websites I'm not supposed to be in. It looks like it ends pretty well.
But it makes me curious. Like, was it like a just got out of the shower naked? Was it getting dressed naked? Or is it like, do we think she just sits around her place naked all the time?
You know, for a second, you know, I'm thinking maybe it was a shower thing. And then I talked to my neighbors, come to find out she had been screaming alone in her apartment for the last hour.
Oh my God.
So I don't know why she was naked.
Okay.
But she was alone. And that's why they came. They did a wellness check. So they were just trying to check in on her. And for some reason, it got heated and she was naked. So they're pleading with her like, ma'am, please just cooperate. Like, we can get you some clothes. Please just cooperate with us. So they go in, they come back out. She has a long shirt and one singular house slipper. Which I guess is better to sit in a I guess it's better to sit in a holding cell with one slipper and a shirt than completely naked.
Yeah.
But, you know, lucky for me, I live at the front of the complex, so I can see the parking lot too. So they walk her out. They've got her in cuffs at this point, and she seems to have calmed down. She gets to the parking lot. Now she's on the ground, flailing around like a child throwing a tantrum.
So she like flopped.
Oh, yeah.
Like a felony flop.
Oh, yeah. Like when a child doesn't get their way,
Yeah.
straight to the ground. And she still has no pants on, mind you.
So now we're just down on the ground, bare butt up.
Yep.
Yeah.
All top,
Oh,
no
yeah.
bottom.
In the cold, on the cold concrete.
She Donald ducking it, man.
So I'm watching through the blinds, like trying not to get caught. My quiz is still going. And one cop has to grab her by the ankles and the other one has to grab her under the arms. And they had to carry her as she's like thrusting back and forth,
hell?
trying to get out of their grasp. And they put her in the back of the car. And I have been stalking that Cobb County mugshot
Yeah.
Facebook page ever since.
Not up yet,
to
huh?
see what she was in, like why they went. But apparently she had just been screaming for an hour, and one of my neighbors called and did a wellness check, and now my neighbor and I are friends because we were both nosy and exchanged drama. So.
Okay. All right. There's other drama, other neighborhoods. Hey, Brandy, good morning. You're part of the Bert Show.
Good morning. I actually got a few stories for you, but one of the most recent ones is we had like 12 police show up because one of our neighbors' kids are sleeping in an abandoned house on the floors. And then we had one incident where my neighbor shot another neighbor in the leg.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And we found him on the side of the road.
You found him with the gunshot?
Hello?
Oh, the neighbor got her.
Yeah.
It might be time to move.
Yeah.
Intriguing story. Phone went out, though. Here's Daniel. Good morning, Daniel. Give us the drama going on in your neighborhood.
Oh, hello?
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. What's up, man? What's going on in your neighborhood?
Hey. Oh, so me and my wife, we live in a 3-bedroom apartment with my sister-in-law, and I caught her sleeping with my neighbor. It's all on my Ring camera.
But I mean,
Oh my God.
Yeah, we got a lot to unpack here. So is the neighbor married?
That I don't know. I only been seeing him, but he does go places on the weekend. Like his car stays gone for the whole weekend. I've noticed that, but throughout the weekdays, he's here. So I mean, maybe not.
well, maybe there's nothing wrong with that. If she's not married, he's not married. They happen to be in close proximity and like each other, and they want to bump uglies.
Well, I also think that if you're staying in somebody's house, you should probably go, hey, is it cool if the neighbor comes on over?
Wait, are you watching it from your Ring, like she's coming in and out of his place, or is he coming into your place?
Well, all I know is that they've been making out in the breezeway. So
Okay, there you go. They've been making out. Nothing like love in a breezeway.
Get you your $20. Hold on. And Julian, good morning. Come on, some drama in the neighborhood.
Hi. So I live down on an apartment building over on Old National Highway. And so we have my wife and I have our Vivid camera. And so whenever we see the cops, they pull in all the time. We call it riffraff. Well, one time there has been like a series of drama where there has been a mother and daughter duo that have lived in a building like kind of cat a corner from us so we can see them all the time. Mm-hmm. And the daughter's boyfriend, I guess, was also living with them, and they would like come out and they would sort of like argue like on the porch all the time and like kind of like bicker and argue. Well, through a series of eavesdropping and neighborly as my neighborly duty, I've come to find out the daughter's boyfriend was sleeping with both the mom and the daughter, and they both didn't know. And so they have been, it's been quite the saga to come out and to see. Yeah, suddenly my dog needs to have a lot of walks.
All right, hold on. Let me get your $20 in your hand. That's definitely worth it. And we'll do one more here. Drama in the neighborhood, Nicole. Nicole, what is going on?
Hey, so a couple houses down from me, there's a new couple that moved in, and when the wife goes to work, the husband has another person over, another woman, and the wife has no clue. She comes home like nothing's wrong.
Have you ever felt the urge to give her a heads up?
I thought so. Yeah. I thought I was just going to leave like a pie on her thing, be like, hey, you need to like come home early one day and just see what happens.
I know you're out there looking, just waiting for them to get caught every single day.
I watch my cameras all day. I'm just like, did she come? Is she here?
Yeah, sometimes the best thing on TV is your security camera. I had the weirdest reaction to a video that our producer Rebecca sent to us this morning. And I've told you guys before that I forget what it's called, but I tend to attach human emotions to inanimate things. Like I've told you guys before, I can't throw t-shirts out. I feel like they speak to me and they're like, oh, how could you do that, man? We've gone through so many great times together. Or when I'm going on vacation, they're all hanging there in my closet going, take me, take me, take me.
I was super, super attached to one of my first cars, Annie the Avenger.
Yeah.
To the point when I had to I was trading her in. I cried. Like I wrote a little note to the future owner. I put it in the console. I did a whole on my old show. I did a whole we went around to all our favorite spots around town before I had to turn.
Oh my god! It's a little on a date.
It's a little over the top.
We cruised around town together for one last time, hitting up our hot spots.
I don't know if it happened to you guys, but the very first car I had, the first time that it had to be towed away because it wasn't working right, it's so sad.
Yeah.
It's so sad.
I teared up when they took my first car away.
It's so sad.
Because I was constantly getting towed on the University of Kentucky's campus for parking where I wasn't supposed to. And there was a parking, like one of those tow parking lots right next to Memorial Coliseum. And I could see Betty in there just behind the bars, and I can't get to her unless I pay the fee, which I didn't have because I'm a poor college student.
It's so sad. And then there's this one this morning. Explain.
Yeah, so there's this Twitch streamer, Kai Cenat. He's like this super popular kind of like gamer on YouTube, like usually does like pop culture stuff. I was scrolling through Twitter because I don't know a lot about him, but I've seen a lot of viral clips from him. And there was this one video where it's him in his room with a bunch of his friends. And he owns this $70,000 AI robot that's kind of supposed to be self-sustainable. And he and his friends are pushing it around and bullying it. And I was watching, and I am not an AI fan, but I was like, stop bullying that little boy.
I was starting to get so upset about it because the robot is so much smaller than the dudes that were kind of nudging it and pushing it. And the AI robot, I guess, is programmed to continue to go forward even if it gets pushed back. So it looked to me like a kid that wouldn't like back down from the bullies. And I felt it's not a real person. It's an AI robot. And I felt so bad for it.
This is how it starts. We start bullying the robots, and then they take over.
Yeah, they don't forget, and they pass it on.
Right?
From bot to bot.
From bot to bot.
Logically, we know it's like a hunk of metal with software programming, but humans are so much more complex than that, and we do ascribe those traits to it. And so it really does feel like you're... You know what it feels like? It feels like that's who you truly are, and you would do it to another human being if it were legal, but you found a way to do an outlet. Like much like somebody who would torture animals. That's not a human, but it's still gross, and we know it is. And this is the same thing. It's you found a loophole, but it's still gross, and you're beating up something that looks human. And a lot of us are like, how could you even do that?
Right. I agree. I feel like watching it, you get the same feeling as you would. And I know that I have a problem because I can't ask Alexa for something without saying please. Like it feels weird.
The same way.
I thank ChatGPT.
Yeah, me too.
I'm like, thanks for your help.
I appreciate it.
So this adopted dog I have, Franny, English Bulldog, has been making so much great progress, at least socially in our house. I got her through a listener. She came to me from a farm in Iowa, and she just hasn't been around a lot of people. And each and every week, maybe each and every month, she's just warming up to people. She's following me around the house now. She trusts me finally after a year. I'm getting her to do dog tricks. She's walking up a ramp now, right? So this weekend is our biggest challenge because I am taking her to the Bert's Big Adventure what are we calling it? A conference this weekend where we all spend 48 hours with each other. And she has never been around this many people in her life.
Well, Christmas party?
Not as many as that's going to be there this weekend.
Yeah, okay.
And that was also sort of a home game for her as well.
Oh, it was because she was in the comforts of her own home. You're right.
Right. So we'll see what happens. I mean, she's the sweetest thing ever. She's just skittish. It's not like she gets scared and she snaps at people. She just kind of gets so nervous she doesn't know what to do with herself. So with so many people that are obviously going to be there, that are going to want to pet her, going to be really interesting to see how much trazodone I can give her.
Can we please not have a repeat of what happened with Tyra?
Oh, God. Well, Tyra was the dumbest bulldog, and that's saying a lot for bulldog.
Okay, good.
So I brought this bulldog to one of these a couple of years ago, and when we got there, she immediately went down to the lake, which is great. All right.
Because
she's checking it all out. I went down there. I was going to go hang out with everybody. So she comes down there also. She goes right on the dock and she jumps in the water, realizing she doesn't know how to swim.
No. I remember that.
So it was Amanda that saved her life.
Yeah.
Wow. We were at the top at the observation deck, and she's down low at the boat dock, and you hear this splash, and Bert's just like, damn it. And Amanda's the one that runs down the steps. And I mean, this dog is struggling. I mean, and she goes down. And she comes back up. And then she goes down and she comes back up. And I'm like, this dog is gonna. And Amanda straddles something, an apparatus, reaches in, grabs the collar, and literally pulls her to safety. It was insane.
Wow.
And then you tested positive for COVID and had to leave.
Right, I was there for
it was the same year.
I was there for 45 minutes, and then I had to leave with a wet dog.
That was wild.
So I'm sure the experience with Franny will be better. She's terrified of water.
It better be.
Okay. Annie here knows that she is stepping into Psycho this weekend in the most traditional of ways. When you don the disguise, you round up some friends, and you spy on either your current or your ex. Hey, Annie, good morning.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Good. All right. So for us, stepping into Psycho is like, you are doing something that goes against who you usually are. But you've been pushed and you've been pushed. So you are stepping into Psycho this weekend. What are you doing?
Well, okay. First off, I just want to tell you guys I'm a huge fan.
Thank you.
I'm a loyal podcast listener here in Fort Wayne. So
thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Sorry they kicked us off the airwaves there, but we appreciate your dedication listening on the podcast.
Well, you guys have so much fun, so I love listening. So let's see. My step into Psycho. Well, I figured that I would have you guys either talk me out of what I'm about to do, or at least go on the ride. With me. So my best friend and I are actually. I got her settled into it too. We're gonna go undercover and. We're driving about an hour away to a Warrant concert to catch my boyfriend cheating on me.
Yes. Yes, she said Warrant.
The plan.
And I just want to let Annie know, because we got your email, which is why we reached out to you and we're doing this. So, of course, we had to have this ready to go because you are going to a Warrant concert tomorrow night.
Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sweet cherry pie.
Number one on the Billboard stripping chart.
I didn't know that was a band name, and I was like, are we going after prisoners?
I thought the same thing, Abby.
That's why I'm like, like the youngins aren't going to really know this. That's why we got to have Warrant ready to go.
I think actually Pour Some Sugar on Me would be number one. Cherry Pie's got to be up in the top 10.
It's up there.
Okay. All right. So you're going, and I know you don't want to sound like you're bragging, but you're going to the Warren concert this weekend. All right. Take it from there.
Yeah. I'll tell you, I had to look it up too. My boyfriend doesn't even listen to Warrant. I've never heard him listen to it. So yeah, it's all of it smells. So, so he told me he was going to go actually to Indianapolis for a guy's trip and help his buddy move. So that was the original plan. And I don't know, something about it was just, he made a big show of it. And I don't know. He just, everything about it smelled really bad. He was claiming he wouldn't have time to call me, and then he was going to be exhausted. So I don't know. At first it sounded believable enough, but something about it just was off. So I actually, I did a little snooping. Don't judge me. It's not my typical thing that I do, but I did look in through his emails, and I found a confirmation number email for 2 tickets to the Warrant concert. It's about an hour away, so it's not too far out. So I don't know, unless his buddy, are secretly jamming the Warrant. I have no idea, because I've never heard him listen to it.
Wait, Annie, did you say Warrant again?
If there are members of that band that are still alive, they're getting a royalty check today going, oh my God, who played it?
Seriously. I feel like I caught him in a big fat lie. Really.
Yeah, you did.
I'm thinking so.
So anyway, so my friend and I, we decided we're actually, we found the ticket confirmation. So I found exactly where he's sitting. I know, sounds a little psycho. So naturally, I did like what any, slightly unhinged woman would do. I bought tickets slightly behind him.
Oh, wow.
So,
you've doubled down.
Yeah.
Right.
I know. So yeah, we'll be like directly in the sight line to be able to see him. So I don't have any idea who he's bringing, at all. I mean,
you just saw.
I have no idea.
Yeah, well, you just saw the ticket confirmation for, I'm assuming, what is 2 tickets to the Warrant concert.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
The only thing we know about her is she's in her 60s. And she used to rock hard back in the day.
She used to listen to Big Hair Wednesdays on WEBN.
She's listening to Rat on the way. Yeah, man.
What are the disguises?
Oh, we're going to dress like more in rock clothes, and we're going to put on studded leather jackets, and we're just going to go hard. But it's so off from what I normally wear that I don't think he'll have any clue that it's big old glasses, Yeah, we have it all planned out.
Oh, you got to get a wig too. One of those colored bobs that people wear out in like New Orleans.
Oh no, like one of those
Great idea.
spiky mullets. That might draw too much attention to you.
Right.
You don't want to draw too much attention to yourself.
Not in that crowd.
No.
So is there any past history of infidelity? I mean, all of this doesn't smell right. But is there any past history where you're like, I don't quite trust him?
I mean, not anything that's been, and not anything bad, but he does go see this buddy often. And now with this situation, it makes me start to question other times that he's gone out to help his buddy with something. So I don't know. I mean, it just doesn't smell right to me. But am I being a psycho? Is it?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there are other better, mature ways to handle this.
Like, hey, I found this email. What does it mean?
What's the fun in that?
But I mean, are you a little bit psycho? Yes, but we all are a little bit psycho underneath our, what we pretend when we pretend to be semi-normal. Do I blame you for doing this? Absolutely not. If I was your bestie, would I roll to the Warrant concert with you? Faux show.
All right, let's check back with you on Monday and find out exactly what you found, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
All right, bye-bye. All right, let me throw in a couple other bands at you. Okay. And you say better or worse than Warrant. Abby, you could probably back out of this one. Mo, I'm not sure you're going to know too many of these.
I feel like I might have to back out too.
All right, so if I told you would you pick Warrant over Guns N' Roses?
Guns N' Roses.
For sure.
So here's the thing. I saw Guns N' Roses recently at Music Midtown, right?
Yeah.
And let's just say they've aged.
Yeah.
Yes.
At some point or another, yeah.
That's what happens.
Axl did really good on some parts and was struggling on others, but will I say I'm glad I went and saw them? 1,000%. I actually saw him with Tommy and his wife Renee.
Is that right?
Yes, we had a good time.
Tommy's who we should have in here. How about if I told you, look, they're both on the same night. Do you want to go to Warrant or do you want to go to Rat?
I'm going to Warrant because I can't name any Rat songs off the top of my head, but Warrant, to see them perform Cherry Pie, that would be a highlight.
How about Quiet Riot?
I'm still going Warrant.
Okay. Van Halen.
Oh, was it Van Halen or Van Hagar?
We're going with David Lee Roth.
I'm going Van Halen.
For sure. How about Sammy Hagar?
Well, I saw Van Hagar and they were all right. Warrant. I would still do Van Hagar.
Okay. Warrant or Motley Crue?
Oh, Motley Crue. Absolutely. That beats Warrant all day, every day.
Look at everybody else in the studio. It's like, who are these?
Y'all are talking French to me.
How about this? Poison or Whitesnake?
Poison. Dude, I smoked a joint with Bret Michaels in his tour bus.
Whoa. Okay, let's back up for this story. let's back up for this, Jim. Here we go.
Yeah, so Poison was playing at the amphitheater in Cincinnati. I was working for WEBN, the Heritage Rock Station, and we got to interview him beforehand. I was just in promotions and got to come along for the ride. So I was wearing like this WEBN t-shirt that I had cut and used safety pins and like made it really rockish. He signed it. I still have it. And on his tour bus, we all sat there and passed a joint. Yeah, he was so nice. Like, he was so freaking nice.
What band was Tommy Lee in again? That was Motley Crue,
That was
right?
Motley Crue.
I hung out with him for a night in VIP, and it's everything that you think it would be.
I can't imagine.
Whoa. It was like being in a Motley Crue video. It was insane.
Is it bad that I was more excited to meet Bret Michaels because of Rock of Love on VH1 and not so much Poison?
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah, this could be fun if you guys want to get in on this. Have you ever partied with a celebrity? Now, that doesn't mean that you guys were just in the same room. He or she were over there. You were over there. No, you guys were actually like hanging out and having drinks. 1-855-BERT Show. And the reason why I'm spontaneously asking this morning is Kristen was just telling us she's partying with like an 80s rock star bus, right?
Yeah, we, when I was working for WEBN, a Heritage Rock Station in Cincinnati, Poison came into town. They were playing at the amphitheater. And of course, we were at every single rock concert. And we got invited to hang out on his bus. It's so crazy how there are certain core memories. I remember the WEBN shirt I was wearing, and I had cut it up and like pinned it with safety pins to be like, all like rocker chic or whatever. And I was such a poser. But I had him sign my shirt, and I remember him signing my shirt. And then he's like, "Hey, you want to come on the bus?" So a group of us came on the bus, and then he just he lit a joint. We passed it around. We all just sat there hanging out, smoking a doobie with Bret Michaels from Poison.
Yeah, that's a story right there for the ages. All right. Do you have one where you hung out and partied with somebody? 1-855-BERT Show. Who you got?
I hung out with a few people. I'd probably say the biggest name by far is Rihanna.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
What?
with
Do
Rihanna.
tell.
I thought I told y'all this.
I think you did.
I mentioned it before. I got lucky, to be honest. I was working at Best Buy at the time in New York, and it was like this grand opening for this particular Best Buy because it was the first 24-hour Best Buy. And
Rihanna came to Best Buy.
believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah.
No, she did not.
She did. Yeah.
That's hysterical.
Yeah, her album was dropping at that time, and somehow, some way, they got her to come and do like an autograph signing of her albums for anybody who wanted to come.
They did used to do that.
Yeah, and I worked there, and jokingly, like when we were all leaving, because we all got an opportunity to meet her afterwards, and I said there, so what y'all doing after this? Is lit or nah? And I was completely joking, and she looked at me and was like, yeah, we going to so-and-so. You want to come?
What?
Just like that.
That's crazy.
And I was like, I'll be right back. So I went to my supervisor and was like, hey, I'm leaving early. I don't know how y'all feel about this, but I'm leaving.
Wait, were you wearing your blue Best Buy shirt too?
Yes. Full uniform. Yes. And I thought she was going to take us to like this real nice place that I've never seen or couldn't have. She took us to like this real hood spot, and she was the most down to earth person you would ever meet. Like she walked in and they treated her like she was Rihanna, but she didn't act like that at all. She had a section. She kicked it with me and my guy that she let come with us. She hung out with us the whole night. And when she was ready to leave, she just left us there. She took off. That was it.
Right?
Yeah.
We were one of the very first morning shows that she did interviews with. I mean, she was fresh to America and came in here. And who I witnessed that day is so different than the Rihanna that we know today. She was shy, super quiet, would barely say a word. I don't know if it was tired or just she didn't know really how this whole thing worked yet, so she was just being very reserved, but totally different person than she is now.
I think that's her personality. She really is like a reserved person. She was super cool.
Here is Taylor to say, oh yeah, you want party stories? I got him with Soldier Boy. Ooh. Hey Taylor, good morning.
Hi. So I was actually a kid when this happened, and it was probably like super inappropriate for me to even like be there, but my mom's friend, Erica, was her like man at the time was his sound like coordinator, and so like I used to talk to him, like we would see him all the time back when I was like a kid. And so one time we were at like one of their houses all partying together, like listening to Shakira and stuff.
Listen to Shakira. Taylor, how old were you?
Oh no.
To be honest, I probably shouldn't be saying this. Sorry to my mom, but I was like 10.
Oh no!
What?
No.
Listening to Shakira and everything.
Yeah. See, I was not into like, I was like, okay, I know this is Soulja Boy, I know we're having a party, I know there's like stuff going on around me. I was just trying to dance. I was a little kid.
I thought you were going to say something like 16.
That's what I was thinking.
10 hit low.
My God.
Is it weird? I'm actually more okay if you're 10 than if you were 16.
No.
I actually, no?
No, I'm with you because
I was so innocent.
Yeah.
I was just trying to, I was trying to vibe, and we were all chilling. The adults were drinking. The adults were drinking, and I was just vibing to the music.
That screams to me, couldn't find a babysitter, so I'm bringing my kid.
It was. My mom was a single parent.
Yep.
It was.
Okay.
Whereas 16, you feel like people could do inappropriate things, whereas 10, you're off limits.
Okay.
exactly 10, you're like very clearly a child.
Yeah.
There was one that I just was reminded of a couple of days ago. I've told you guys before, the Tommy Lee night was absolutely insane. It was everything that you think Tommy Lee would be. I've told you I had drinks with that. You remember that Gangnam Style guy? Psy?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That dude can drink
I hear he's wild.
hard, right? Florida Georgia line. I've been doing this for a long time, so I've had the opportunity to hang out with a lot of these guys and drink. Dallas Austin, one of the biggest music producers ever.
He big time.
I've been to his house a couple of times, hanging out with him. The one that I told you about, A-Rod and Jeter at a Super Bowl party. I'm sitting right next to A-Rod in his house watching the Super Bowl, right next to A-Rod.
That's crazy.
Right next to A-Rod. The one that I was reminded about and totally forgotten, Bobby Kelly hit me up with a picture the other night. I'm at either Vision or Compound, rest in peace, Michael Guedewan. And he escorts me back into the VIP area, and there's a whole bunch of different parties going on, but he had us in a section right to probably the wildest section of VIP. And I'm hanging out with some of my friends. We're having a good time, but we're a little subdued compared to what was going on. And as the night goes on, you know, if you're ever in one of these areas, like sometimes the separators will come down and the parties just start leaking into VIP areas by themselves or table next to table. Your parties join, right? So that's what happened on this particular night. And I find myself more in the party next to us to the left than I am with my party. And Bobby is pointing to me like, dude, look who you're right next to. And I'm having the time of my life. I'm drinking, I'm popping champagne. And I look to my left and it's Chris Brown. I'm shoulder to shoulder with Chris Brown.
I didn't know that.
I had absolutely no idea. Kristen tried to be a good Samaritan yesterday.
I did. And I've never been in a position like this, or maybe I have, but now I just act differently. So I had a choice. Either I do something or I just drive past and I don't do anything. And I actually decided to park my car in the middle of the road, get out, and check on a passenger of another car. So for my Atlanta natives, I was coming up Lenox, and you know at a point it splits, so you can either take a right onto Peachtree or a left onto Peachtree. So either you're going to go to Lenox Mall or you're going to go to Phipps Mall, right? So I skirt over left because I'm taking a left onto Peachtree, and I'm in the left lane. There's 2 lanes to turn left, and I'm behind a car. The light turns green, and we're sitting there. I do my polite 3 count. I go 1, 2, 3, and the car in front of me is not moving. So I do a little like a little light tap.
Move, please.
Yeah. Still not moving. Still not moving. Still not moving. And now the light has turned yellow. Now the light has turned red. So I missed a freaking light.
Okay.
And I'm in my, doing my road rage. And I'm like, you. Like,
so now based on where you are.
Yes.
Right. Because that intersection, what you're talking about right there, at some point, there's a lot of tension in that intersection.
Because people don't know what the hell they're doing.
Well, yeah, that, but there's also, there have been people on the side of the road selling things that have been a scam for a while. They were getting really aggressive. So based on where you are, I don't know that I would have gotten out of my car.
None of that crossed my mind.
Okay.
I didn't have any sense of fear whatsoever.
All right.
So because I'm an a-hole and I ride people's bumpers.
Thank you for finishing that.
No. Because I ride people's bumpers.
You tailgate all the time.
I do. So I had to back up so I could go around because the car is still, and we're not at the front of the light, right? Like there was a good 4 or 5 cars in front of us that made the light, and we're still sitting here. So we're like a little ways back. There's nobody behind me, thank goodness. So I back up and I'm starting to go around, and normally I would have went like, and like just floored it to the front of the light. But I pull up and I'm checking out the person, not to mean mug them, but to see what's going on. And I see this man sitting in the driver's seat with his head slumped down. And I was like, and that, you have like that split second. Do I do something or do I just ignore and just go to the light? And I was like, something was off, right? So I park my car in the middle of the road. So now we're blocking both lanes. I get out of my car. I go over to the passenger window and I'm like, and I tap on the window and he doesn't budge. So I'm observing what's going on in the car. And so he's sitting in the seat, his head is slumped down and his hands are open and he's holding his cell phone like in one hand, but his hands, like he's not gripping anything. You can tell like he's out, right? And I'm like, oh my God, like I'm going to have to like break into this car. I'm going to have to call something like, so I bang on the window a little harder. He fell asleep.
He just fell asleep.
He fell asleep. And so he
was just tired, or he's got a condition?
I have no idea.
I guess he didn't ask.
No. Because he just kind of woke up and he looked at me and I kind of waved at him and I pointed at the light and he was like, and so then he goes up to the front and I get back in my car and I go up to the front and he had rolled his window down and I rolled my window down and he looks at me and he puts his hands on the side of his cheeks like Macaulay Culkin in Home Alone and he's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, it's okay. I just wanted to make sure you were okay. And then I was like, go home and get some rest.
I think there was a time in the country where you wouldn't even think twice about it. But I got to be honest with you, based on what you said, I probably would have gone down the road, then called 911. I wouldn't have been as proactive as you are, just because you just don't know if it's a scam or not anymore.
I felt because it was such a public, it wasn't at night. It was like the middle of the day. We're talking like it was like 1:30 p.m. There's tons of people there. And in that moment, I was like, I need to check on this dude and make sure he's okay. And yeah, he just fell asleep.
I'm sure he appreciated it.
He's probably mad, man. I'm in deep sleep here. Finally getting some sleep. Finally getting some sleep. And you got to mess it all up.
My bad.
Look, it's a family matter outside of this studio, but we have been dragged in, so I think it's time to talk about it.
Oh, God.
Jackson's mom has reached out to all of us this morning with a desperate plea. So maybe we can get Jackson down here. Does Jackson know that you guys have been in communication with his mom?
I texted him yesterday because I was like, who is this woman in my DMs? Is she just posing as your mom, or is she actually who she says she is?
I did not let him know that his mother DM'd me yesterday at 5:32 p.m.
I just found out 5 minutes ago.
Would you be cool if we got your mom on? Sure. Okay. Does anybody have his... Oh, I got her number. Just kidding.
I was about to say, Dear God.
All right, we're going to get Jackson's mom on here. Yeah, because she has made a plea. She's in a panic here right now.
I kind of don't blame her. And I responded. Did you respond?
I responded because I've met his mom before, and she is such a sweetheart. And so once I confirmed that it was, in fact, Mrs. Kim, I decided to reply.
Do you want to detail exactly where the stress is coming from? Do you even know that these messages between your mom and the staff have been going on?
I didn't know how widespread this was. I know. So Abby texted me yesterday and was like, is this actually your mom that's messaging me? And she sent me a screenshot of it. And it's because yesterday...
Tattletale.
I was like, if it's your mom, I want to be nice and respond. But if it's some rando who just put like a generic Asian woman in her profile picture, like, I'm not going to reply.
Yeah, no, totally fair. And I knew what it was about because she had also texted me earlier in the day that I did not respond to, by the way. But
I actually responded to your mother.
So yesterday we were talking about tattoos, and I came in here and was talking about how the tattoo that I want to get is a bit aggressive. It's especially for a first tattoo. And I was just talking about sort of how my thought process was going to making such a big commitment. And I kind of left out the fact that my mom has been very anti-tattoo for a long time. And I've kind of been able to warm her up to the idea a little bit, but something that kind of big and aggressive is definitely a no-go in her mind. And so she texted me in all caps just saying no to the tattoo. And then I didn't realize that she had reached out to every single person.
Well, let's read the DMs and see how similar they are.
Okay.
Sure.
So yesterday at 5:32 p.m., I did get a DM from your mother, and she says, "Hi, this is Jackson's mom. Just heard the bit about Jackson's tattoo. I am so not down for this. I don't need to see the picture. It sounds huge and horrible. Please try to talk him out of it. Like, painful face, crying emoji with no tears." To which I responded this morning when I saw it, mom to mom, I will do my best. And she hearted it just 7 minutes ago.
You're supposed to be on my team, Kristen.
No, I'm not. I saw it. I'm not.
This is how I find out that she just copy and pasted her responses to all of us. I was like, this is so sweet. She's like talking to me. No, she's just pasting it all into different messages.
All right, let's get moms on here. Clearly, you're not listening to her. You're not even answering her texts, man. Hi, Alexa.
Hi, Bert. Hi, everybody.
Good morning. Oh, my voice is so adorable. Whatever you say goes.
Oh, my God. I just heard the bit yesterday, and I was freaking out. Yes, Jackson is right. I have been anti-tattoo for years and years, and I said, please, Jackson, wait till you're at least 25 to get one, if you're going to get one. Then I am... I'm down for it if he's going to get something. His girlfriend has a lot of tattoos, and I've been warming up to it. But what he described on Wednesday, oh my God, no. It is a big fat no.
All right, so you're warming up to the idea of him having ink on his body. Initially, why didn't you want that at all for him?
Because, I work for my brother who's a plastic surgeon, and we have seen so many people who come in with tattoos and they want them removed. And I swear to you, there's a huge percentage of people who regret getting tattoos. And so, and it's permanent. And to get them removed, it's painful. You have to have multiple sessions. It's not, it's just permanent. And for the vine that goes down his arm, oh my God, no.
So you said you were warming up to the idea of a tattoo. So what he described, you're not on board with. But I'm wondering if he's dead set on getting a tattoo, what would you find appropriate if he were to choose one?
Oh, just something small that goes on the back of his shoulder,
where nobody can see it.
a small cross with a Bible verse.
Right underneath his arm, like near his, like chest area where nobody can see it. Yeah, something like that, but nothing that goes down his arm.
Jackson's mom, how would you feel if he got a tattoo, but the sentimentality of it was all dedicated to you?
I don't think he would do that.
Not even an option.
See, first of all, hi, Mom. I love you.
Hi, Jackson. Love you.
Why don't you text her then? If you loved her, you would text her back.
I know, right?
So we've been having this conversation for years and years. You can obviously tell that. My whole thing is, I totally understand. There's a lot of people out there that regret their tattoos. It's a big commitment to have. Yes, they are permanent. But my thing is, it's my decision. If I'm the one that ends up regretting it, then it's on me. I am the one that ultimately is the one that made that choice. And I know as a parent, you never want to see your kid, be regretful or remorseful about something like that, but at the end of the day, it is kind of my choice, right?
Sure. Look, your voice changed.
All right, what kind of?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Totally agree. It is his choice. It is his body. I just don't want to have to look at it every time I see him. Kristen, please.
Yeah, because my son wanted to get a tattoo, and I'm like, dude, I mean, you've thought about it. It's a Bible verse. All right, so how are you going to say no to that? Yeah. So I'm like, yeah, go do your thing, man. I mean, you know the pros and the cons on it. Do it.
Jackson, it's because, Jackson, that you have 0 tattoos. I feel like this is a very ambitious first tattoo. And I do want to give credit to your mom because yes, your body, your choice, etc. But she has like the wisdom and the knowledge, and she's seen so many people make regretful decisions about tattoos that she just wants to impart that on you because she doesn't want to see her baby boy go through that.
I get it. I get it. I mean, so yes, the smart idea would have been to kind of ease into this whole thing. And then like eventually, half your body's covered, but then she's like, been kind of stepped along the way so that she knows what's coming next sort of thing. This one's a big commitment.
It's huge.
But I've always been kind of an all or nothing guy. So why not,
You can get it in pieces?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. And I will say this also. It's kind of... Things over. Absolutely not. I mean, and the truth of the matter is, very few people that just have one tattoo. Generally, when you get one, it begets another, and it begets another, and begets another. Yeah,
for sure.
Sorry, Mom.
Jackson, just say no.
I love you. I'll see you tonight.
Love you.
So our producer, Rebecca, has walked in here today, and she wants to test our knowledge of the Academy Awards and Best Picture. And I almost want to back out of this thing. As I told you guys before, I looked at those nominees, and I'm like, man, I think I've seen one of these movies, Dune 2. And that was it. I didn't see anything else this year.
I didn't see any of them either. Not a one.
I've only seen one, and that's Wicked.
Wicked?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We're all in the same boat, man.
It's going to be a quick game.
I kind of have faith in you, Bert, because I feel like Hayden, your son, probably made you watch 1 or 2 of these movies.
If so, I can't remember which ones, but let's try it.
Well, she's going from Oscars in the past that have actually won the awards.
Okay.
Yes. We're going back in time through the annals of the Oscars to find out who on The Bert Show is the biggest cinephile.
You can't use annals and cinephile in the same sentence. That just
It doesn't sound right. Everything's fine. It just doesn't sound right.
Yeah, it doesn't.
The annals of the Oscars are long and treacherous. Okay, here's the game. I've picked a random year at the Oscars for each of you.
Okay.
I will tell you the year and then tell you 3 movie titles. You have to figure out which one is the real Best Picture winner from that year, because the other 2 I completely made up.
Oh, okay.
After I read the titles, you can ask for the description of any of the movies or all of them, which I encourage you to do because I worked very hard to make them sound real.
Got it.
Okay, you guys ready to play?
Yeah, let's go.
This is either going to be the easiest game ever or very, very hard. All right, Bert.
Yep.
Was the Best Picture winner in 2015 Birdman or The Unexpected Virtue of Ignorance, Dear Man or The Unforeseen Value of Naivete, or Lamb?
I would like descriptions of all of them.
All right. Birdman or The Unexpected Virtue of Ignorance is about a washed-up superhero actor attempts to revive his fading career by writing, directing, and starring in a Broadway production. Dear Man or The Unforeseen Value of Naivete, Stephen, a charismatic surgeon, is forced to make an unthinkable sacrifice when the behavior of a teenage boy he has taken under his wing turns sinister. Or Lamb, a childless couple discovers a mysterious newborn on their farm in Iceland.
The first one is your winner.
You're right.
Yeah. Okay. I can do well. Did
you see it?
This year I'd suck, but past years, no problem.
Did you see Birdman with Michael Keaton?
I have seen it. Yeah.
It was good.
It's a great movie. Love that movie.
Okay.
Okay, Kristen.
Yes, ma'am.
Was the Best Picture winner in 1941.
Oh, come on.
Rebecca, Addie, or Samantha? By the way, that's the name of all my sisters.
Rebecca, Addie, or Samantha. May I get descriptions, please?
You may. Rebecca, a self-conscious woman, juggles adjusting to her new role as an aristocrat's wife while avoiding his first wife's spectral presence. Addie, an insurance representative, is seduced by a dissatisfied housewife into a scheme of insurance fraud and murder.
Okay.
Or Samantha, a young Englishwoman whose fortune card predicts that she will marry, may find it coming true after she meets an army drummer.
I'm going with the first one, Rebecca.
Rebecca?
Uh-huh.
You're correct.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you guys are doing so well.
Didn't they make a remake with Lily James of Rebecca?
Probably.
Okay.
It seems like they would. It's like classic literature. Okay, I have one for Cassie, but I'm going to make Katie do it. Katie, get ready.
Okay.
All right, Katie. Was the Best Picture winner in 1951 a Briton in Barbados, an American in Paris, or a French Canadian in Berlin?
May I have the descriptions?
Sure. A Briton in Barbados, a veteran British... Kristen, don't laugh.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
A veteran British barrister must find a way to defend his client in a murder trial while navigating life in a foreign country. An American in Paris. 3 friends struggle to find work in Paris, become more complicated when 2 of them fall in love with the same woman. A French Canadian in Berlin. While visiting her father, a Canadian teenage girl is thrust into German high society during an era of thinly concealed political unrest.
Ooh. I'm gonna go with the last one.
A French Canadian in Berlin.
Seriously?
Yeah.
That's not right. No, the Best Picture winner of 1951 was An American in Paris.
Oui, oui.
Great movie. I think it's a musical. All right, Mo was the Best Picture winner in 1970.
Oh.
The Happy Hour Bandit, Midnight Cowboy, or Sunset Laundress.
Descripciones, por favor.
All right, The Happy Hour Bandit. After years in prison, ace safecracker Frank wants to complete one last big heist for the mob before he goes straight. Fun fact, this movie coined the phrase happy hour. Midnight Cowboy. A naive hustler travels from Texas to New York City to seek personal fortune, finding a new friend in the process. Sunset Laundress. A recently widowed woman determined to make a new life for herself and her young son opens a laundromat in 1930s Los Angeles.
That didn't help. I'll go Midnight Cowboy.
That is correct. Sunset laundress. I was really happy about that. Okay. Abby was the Best Picture winner in 2006.
I was alive.
Crash, splash, or crackle?
Snap, crackle, or pop? Okay. Can I get descriptions for all three?
Sure. Crash. Los Angeles citizens with vastly separate lives collide in interweaving stories of race, loss, and redemption. Splash. In a future where the polar ice caps have melted and Earth is almost entirely submerged, a mutated mariner reluctantly helps a young girl try to find dry land. Crackle. At the close of the Syrian civil war, a young nurse tends to a badly burned plane crash victim whose past involvement in a fateful love affair is revealed through flashbacks.
Ooh, the third one sounds the most interesting, but I'm going number one is real. Crash.
You got it.
Yay! God, you guys did so well.
That was a deep ass movie, man.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, but we did pretty well.
We did.
Pretty well.
It's an argument that has stood the test of time between the sexes. I feel like this goes back to cavemen and cavewomen arguing in the cave over whether it was too hot or whether it was too cold. Cavemen arguing it's too hot in there. Cavewomen being like, I'm freezing. What do you think to put more wood on the fire? Like, it's in offices, it's in our homes, it persists. And Sterling K. Brown was talking about this on the Kelly Clarkson show.
This is the dude that used to be on Grey's Anatomy, right?
He used to be on This Is Us.
This Is Us. That's right.
Yeah, so he was on This Is Us, and he's talking to Kelly Clarkson about the temperatures. The temperature he prefers in his home and the temperature his wife prefers in the home. And listen, I like it a little warmer, but his wife is out of pocket for this.
Temperature?
Of the house?
Of the house. Look, what's your temperature? What would you have the house at?
People don't like me because I'm cold. So I'm always cold.
So you keep it at what?
72 to 74.
Okay.
Shut up.
Stop. Don't judge this.
I'm
Look,
so cold.
Kelly Clarkson.
The house was built in the early 1800s. It's so cold.
Kelly Clarkson. My wife is cold too.
Yeah.
She prefers 78 to 80.
Whoa.
Thank you.
She's trying to live a healthy, toxin-free life. All the toxins out.
She's trying to melt me.
That's a sauna.
That's like trying to make weight for a wrestling match.
Right?
Yeah.
78. How much money are they spending on heat each month?
Well, if they live in LA, maybe it's not that much because it's a little warmer there, but still, I'm just like 78 to 80. Could you imagine coming home and your thermostat is set on 80? Now, listen, I used to always run cold too, so I'd like to keep it a little warmer, but now that I'm going through perimenopause,
I made a mistake in my house that I didn't see coming because, I don't think about things. When I got into my house, I removed a lot of the smaller windows because I like a big window look, I like a lot of light in my house. So I put big windows in the house, not realizing in the winter how cold it would be in the living room and how warm it would be in the back of the house, and I can't match it up. It's almost like I'm ready for a cumulus storm cloud to come in because of the hot and cold. I can't quite get it right. All right, so we get this email, and I could totally feel it. Nobody wants to hear their parents doing it. Nobody, right? So she is definitely hearing this and wondering, how do I bring this up to my parents?
First off, I absolutely love your show. It's the best part of my morning, and you always keep me laughing. I'm hoping you can bring some of that wisdom and humor to my situation because I'm truly at a loss here. I'm 28-year-old female, had to move back in with my parents after losing my job at the end of last year. I know, great timing. Nothing says happy holidays like a corporate layoff in Q4. My lease was up on my apartment, and living with my parents seemed like the best way to save money while I regroup. Now, I have a really good relationship with my parents. They're supportive, loving, and we get along well. But we're not the type of family that dives into, shall we say, private matters, which makes my current predicament all the more awkward. I can hear them at night, loudly, and often.
Well, good for them.
They living.
Yeah.
She's dying.
L-I-V-I-N, baby.
I think it's great that they're still so into each other after all these years.
It is sweet.
But for my ears, It's horrifying. Yeah. I've tried everything. Headphones, white noise, even rearranging my schedule to go to bed earlier or later. Nothing works. And now I'm at the point where I have to address this with them before I lose my mind. The problem is, I have no idea how to approach it. Do I talk to just one of them? If so, which one? Honestly, neither option sounds great. Do I sit them both down together? Do I make it lighthearted or serious? I just can't picture the conversation without wanting to crawl into a hole. Please, help me out here. How do I have this conversation in a way that doesn't make things even more awkward than they already are? Any advice on how to keep my composure would also be a huge help. I'm cringing just thinking about it. Thanks for listening, and I can't wait to hear your thoughts. And hopefully get some much needed peace and quiet. Sincerely, desperately seeking sanity. P.S. If this isn't the weirdest email you've gotten today, I'll be both shocked and concerned.
All right, I have an idea that does not involve talking with the parents. What you need to do is give them a dose of their own medicine.
Oh, no.
No. So you're not doing it for reals. Think about the scene in Easy A when Emma Stone is pretending to do it with the dude, and she's just jumping on the bed and making crazy sounds and noises and stuff like that. So I think when it happens again, you start jumping up and down on your bed, start making those type of noises, and if they hear that, they know that they can be heard, and then maybe it'll stop.
You think mid-coitus, they're going to be paying attention to what's going on in the other room? They're making so much noise, it's going to be blocking it out.
All right, maybe not mid-coitus. Maybe you just do it when it is quiet so they can hear you. And if they're, hopefully common sense says they can put two and two together. If we can hear her, she can hear us.
I'm trying to think in my head here for a second. If one of the options was to go to one of the parents, as a woman, do you go to your mom or do you go to your dad?
I go to my mom.
Yeah, I'm not talking to my dad.
I would imagine you would go to your mom.
Your
as
mom.
A woman.
If you go to your dad, though, this thing's going to end.
Why, you think your dad would be more embarrassed?
Oh, man, he might be doubling down.
If it's you, do you go to your dad or your mom?
I honestly wouldn't have a problem going to either one.
Really?
Mm-mm.
Oh, I would have such a major issue going to either one.
This would be easy for me, but I probably would go to my mom because I think my mom would be like, my dad wouldn't really care. I don't think. I think my mom would be like,
down.
oh my God.
Yeah.
I would go to my mom.
I'd probably make some kind of side comment like, wow, I was woken up in that like midnight last night. Something was happening in the house, and just kind of allude to it. But at the same time, even though you're not paying rent at your parents' house, there's a cost to everything, and the cost is your mental health.
That's too much. Yeah, exactly. I think I'm going to have to lose some of these health gadgets that I have. The one specifically I'm talking about today is this sleep app that I have. And I'll tell you why. There are mornings where I am waking up and I feel so refreshed and so good. And then I will check my sleep score and it says that I didn't sleep well. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, oh, I'm tired.
This could be mental.
Shouldn't you trust your body over an app?
Yeah, I don't trust my mind or my body over anything.
Wow, say that.
All right, so today is Friday Fact Check. I thought this could be fun. We all have been assigned to come in here with a fact that we think nobody in here has ever heard before, right? Just blow one of us away. I saw Kristen, I don't know if you meant to do this purposely, like pump your fist in the air a couple of minutes ago. Did you just find one?
Oh, no.
Okay. What was that about?
I checked my Amazon order to see if it was going to get delivered today, and it is.
Okay.
Happy Friday.
Yeah,
I was like, I need this before the birthday party on Sunday. And I went and I clicked it and I scrolled down and it says, will be delivered by 9 p.m. tonight. And that's when I did the fist
That
bump.
does feel good.
Wow, that's sad. That's where my life is. I get excited about something like that.
All right, so we'll all go around the room with our fact. If one person knows this fact, then you're dead. All right, you're out.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
All right. I won't mind going first because I love this one. But I think I might have mentioned it on the show before. Did you know that 1.3 million Earths make the sun?
I did not.
I did not.
I didn't know that.
1.3 million. Did you know that?
No.
Okay. All right. Think about that. How
That's
little
crazy.
we are compared to the sun.
1.3 million?
Yes.
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot. What do you got?
All right, so here's my factoid. Kentucky is a state, but it's also a commonwealth. I don't call it the state of Kentucky. I call it the Commonwealth of Kentucky. There are 4 states in the United States that are known as Commonwealths. I just gave you one.
Okay.
What are the other 3?
Virginia.
Virginia is one.
Okay.
Massachusetts.
Massachusetts is another. So you got Kentucky, Massachusetts, and Virginia. You need one more.
Feels like something up there in the Northeast. Vermont, Rhode Island,
New Hampshire.
North Carolina.
Nope, Pennsylvania.
Oh.
And then the distinction is in name alone. The Commonwealths are just like any other state in their politics and laws. There's literally no difference. It's just because when their constitution was drafted, they decided to call themselves a Commonwealth.
Okay.
Living in Virginia, all I knew about it was the ABC liquor stores closed early.
True.
I learned about the ABC liquor stores when I lived in North Carolina.
Yep.
All right, Cassie's going to hit us with something really intellectual here because she graduated from Emory.
I don't know that it's that intellectual, but I do find it very interesting. So you guys know the band The Offspring?
Yes.
So the lead singer, Dexter Holland, actually has a PhD in molecular biology. So you may also know this song, which is kind of considered one of their breakthrough songs. That line is what Dexter used to sing to himself in the lab to remind himself not to mix 2 different flasks of liquid.
Come on.
He would say, you got to keep them separated. And later it came out into that song called Come Out and Play, also known as Keep Them Separated.
I always thought that was about gangs and stuff like that.
No, it is literally about molecular biology.
Had no idea. Okay.
Can't be mixing Crips and Bloods, right?
No.
Yeah.
All right, I got a feeling for some reason that Cassie's going to know this. But did y'all know that there's a species in the world that is biologically immortal?
Biologically immortal?
It
Can
literally
never
cannot
die.
of old age. Nope.
I do know this.
You do?
I think I do.
It must be some kind of cell, like
species is it?
amoeba-ish.
Well, there's the koi fish, which will actually not die of natural causes. And then there's the water bear, which is like this tiny microscopic animal that can actually survive in space for millions of years.
This one is a jellyfish. It's called the Turritopus dorhi. And essentially, it resets its cells and starts life over. So it never truly dies of old age. It just keeps regenerating itself over and over again.
So that sounds exhausting.
I have heard that. It goes through all the phases again, right?
Yeah.
It becomes a juvenile and goes back to an adult.
And so unless it gets killed in the wild, that's the only way it can't cheat death. Is it can be killed, but if it's not killed, it will just keep living over and over and over forever.
Kim Kardashian's going to find a way to bottle that and get it injected into her booty. Okay. This is kind of just a very basic, simple fact, but it's kind of mind-blowing because maybe they should just change the definition so it can make sense for all humankind. But did you know that bananas are berries, but strawberries are not?
I did know that.
Okay.
I only knew it because I did a podcast episode on it once. But what else? Guess what else I found out about bananas? I just posted it to my Insta story yesterday. It's fascinating. They're radioactive.
Huh?
And
Bananas
so are avocados.
What?
Because a very small percentage of naturally occurring potassium is potassium-40, which is a radioactive isotope. So you're literally eating radioactive material when you eat a banana. It's just in such a small quantity, it's not going to do anything to you at all. But yes, you eat radioactive matter when you eat a banana or an avocado.
So she ruined yours, and then she doubled down with something even better.
That was way cooler than mine.
I'm such a nerd. This is my favorite new segment. I'm sorry,
We
Abby.
should take Cassie out of this the same way we take Tommy out of this. Any entertainment trivia ones, right?
Oh, so this is going to be Suck at Cassie Facts?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
All right, so that was our attempt at being smart. So let's end this thing this week here, Abby, with Britain's first ever cyber farting case.
Yes.
It's called balance.
Yeah.
I saw this on The Sun, and what immediately caught my attention was the caption. It says, "Woman faces jail in Britain's first ever cyber farting case," which is really more of a case about harassment.
A woman from Wales is facing jail after bombarding her boyfriend's ex with videos of herself farting. Rhiannon Evans, 25, has appeared in court today to plead guilty to harassment in Britain's first ever cyber farting case. She is accused of causing distress or anxiety to her boyfriend's ex after sending videos of herself passing wind. The prosecution told the magistrates that in the first video she sent, she proceeds to pass gas by placing the camera on her bottom and passing the gas. Over the next few days, another 4 videos were sent of the same nature, showing Rhiannon passing wind and then showing her face smiling at the camera. Her tweeting continued on Boxing Day and New Year's Day, despite police getting wind of what had happened. Rhiannon was arrested at her home in Carnarvon and will be sentenced this week.
He thought he was so clever with the wind line.
Oh, yeah, you could tell, like, the way he paused. So, like, total, if we were listening, I mean, it's not like she sent hundreds of videos. It sounded like she sent like maybe like 10 or something like that.
I feel like maybe this is just a way for the ex-girlfriend to be a little bit petty and punish the other ex-girlfriend for being for going after her for no reason. Like, I think she was just like, you know what? I've got some free time and a couple of spare change. I will take you to court to get rid of you.
All right, Mo and Bert, you're dating a woman. You really like her. Super hot. But then you find out she's been sending farting videos to your ex. Deal breaker?
Hell no.
You finally met her.
I'm putting a ring on it.
I'm out of there. You nasty man.
The Bert Show.